Simicas tire le corner vers Van Dijk. Salah de la tête et le poteau encore. La barre transversale. Invraisemblable situation pour Liverpool. But de Trent Alexander-Arnold.
It had to be him. It had to be Trent. It had to be Trent Alexander-Arnold to score this goal with all of the confusion, with all of the uncertainty around his whole situation. It had to be Trent, didn't it, to score that winner? And it's one of those wins where you take it all day long, and it kind of looks like we probably could have did a little bit more. I feel like I'm a broken record. I've been saying this over and over in the past handful of wins, but don't get it wrong. We were dominant today. And maybe not in the ways that you would really want to, especially from champions to be. And I feel like I said this exact same thing in the last video, but it's one of those wins that you want more from it, but you take it because you know what it means, right? And you can see what it meant on Trent's face. The first half, you'll see that there. I'll throw that up on the screen. It was pedestrian. It was probably one of our most boring halves of football that we've had all season. Low XG from everybody all the way around. And that was mainly due to Salah missing a couple sitters there that he probably should have put away. And he probably should have maybe had 2 or 3 goals here today and was unlucky to get them. And it looks like the likelihood of him breaking those goal scoring records is going down and down and down. But there's a lot to talk about this Liverpool team. There's a lot to talk about. And it's a really confusing time to be a Liverpool fan. Yes, we are winning a Premier League title. Yes, it's a monumental achievement, but then you still get that feeling that there's something missing and there's something more you want from this season. And I just cannot put my finger on it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Tell me what do you feel like is missing from this season? Why does this not feel more like we're about to do something absolutely incredible? And I just get a feeling and a consensus, and this just may be my timeline and that I need to cleanse, that a lot of us aren't super duper happy with the way that the end of this season is going. But then when you look at the cold hard facts and you look at our win streak, and people are saying we're sputtering to the finish line, we actually aren't. We're winning these games impressively, no, but we are winning these games. And the second half was much better, obviously. Our XG went way up through the roof. I think it was close to 3, almost 3. And we pressed the issue a lot more. Arne made the adjustments. I think Trent, believe it or not, boys, this is going to be a little bit about Trent. I think he changed the game today. And that's just the case. That's just the cold hard facts. And you look at this chart right here, and I get a little bit worried, right? I get a little bit worried about how we distribute the ball. And this is before obviously Trent came on. And it's almost like we did play in that double 10 that I think worked really well, that we haven't really revisited a whole ton up until I guess today. But something's missing. And I think it's probably a forward. I'll say this every single day and every single week, week in, week out. We do need a forward, but who that is, I do not know. And I'm not sure if it works. I'm not sure if we should continue with it. And I don't think we will continue with it moving forward. But regardless, we are one step closer to a Premier League title. And that's really all that matters in the end of the day, right? Will we stick with these formations and these tactics? Who knows? We don't know if it's going to work or if it's not going to work moving forward. I don't think we will. I think we're going to see a lot of changes with this Arne Slot team moving forward, and I think it's going to evolve. It has to evolve, right? But before we jump into some of the details on this game, we got a lot to talk about, especially Trent Alexander-Arnold. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Who lifts this Premier League trophy? Tell me down below. Who lifts it after VVD? I think obviously VVD is going to lift it first once we get to the final day of the season. But who lifts it after that? Is it Trent, who should be lifting it after that? He is the co-captain of the team or the vice captain of the team. Or is it Mo Salah? Or is it somebody else? Let me know who you guys think down below. But for what it is worth overall in the match, and as we go into the match, of course, I think Lucho in the last 6 games has been one of our best players. And close to being one of our best player, barring one individual that I'm going to bring up in a second. He has been absolutely outstanding, working very hard in whatever position that he plays on the pitch. He works his socks off and he works his balls off, man, of trying to make something happen and make something effective in this Liverpool side. And I love the effort that you get from Diaz. And I just feel like I don't know. I don't know what's missing. Maybe nothing's missing. Maybe we're just spoiled and we're just so used to just this insanely dominant, potent brand of football that Jurgen Klopp have, and it's just different under Arne Slot. It's not hardcore rock and roll. It's more of a lullaby, right? With Arne Slot. I wouldn't even call it smooth jazz anymore. I used to call it smooth jazz, but it's more of a lullaby where he kind of rocks the opposition to sleep and gives this false sense of security that they're actually doing better than they are. And on television, it comes across that way. But then you look at the stats, and it's not even close in these matches. And I've talked about this before in previous videos about how scary Arne Slot can actually be with the tactics and how, I don't know, unorthodox the way he lays out his team. He doesn't take a lot of risk. And when he feels like the game is won, he will pack it in and it'll be a pedestrian into the game. And I know a lot of people say that's boring, but I think he's just doing what he feels works with this personnel. Slot ball, I think, will come into effect. I think it will start clicking and working better. We've seen glimpses of it throughout the entire season with a slick passing play. It just looks absolutely beautiful. And then, we have games like today where you want more. You get left with wanting more, even though it was a win, right? So I don't know. But let's talk about Alexis McAllister, who I think was the man of the match. But let me know who your guys' man of the match was down below. I think Alexis McAllister was the man of the match. And I'm pretty sure you guys do too. He deserves a lot more credit than he gets. This boy is a beast. He can do everything. When you talk about a midfielder that can do absolutely everything, Maka can do everything. He is an unbelievable talent, press resistant, can play any role in the midfield that you needed him to do. He can be a playmaker. He can be a six, a ball winning six. He can be a 10. He can do anything that you need him to do. Probably one of the best midfielders, if not the best midfielder, I think, in the Premier League right now. And he deserves all of the success that he's gotten over his career. And I think he deserves to play with better players. Can I say that? Can I say that Maka deserves to play with some world-class players? Who those players are? Again, I don't know. You got to let me know down below. And we know what's messing me up? The whole 40 previous shots guy. I think his name is 1974. He's exposing a lot of these footballers for not really having ball striking and finishing ability. It's a lost art in today, and I blame Pep a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. But I think the forward is dying, right? I think the individuality of going for a goal and perfecting your ball striking is dying, right? There's no more players like Sturridge. There's no more players like Forlan. There's no more players like Diego Milito. There's no players like Sam Eto'o, Nando Torres, Robbie Fowler. I think I mentioned Luis Suarez already. We were missing a generation of players, Zlatan even, where that's their thing. They finish. They're finishers. And you pull up their highlight reel and you're like, ooh, my goodness. Now when you pull up highlight reels, a lot of these forwards, it's sloppy, it's ugly, it's some of the ugliest goals that you've seen. Yes, some of them are effective like Haaland. Like he has like one of the ugliest mixtapes. But it's missing something, and I think Maka needs that finisher. But I'll throw up his stats here today. He was a beast today. Put in a man of the match performance, and let's hope he gets some more help. Hopefully, he becomes vice captain next season. I think he deserves it. I didn't think about that before, but he leads by example on the pitch, which you can't really ask for more. And then now we got to talk about the facts, boys. And the facts is just that Trent changed this game. He just did, man. Outside of him obviously scoring the winner, that's pretty straightforward and clear. I think he just was able to push the initiative a little bit more, was able to rain down some shots on goal, which I think was a huge asset for the team in the second half. And that's what Trent brings to this team. And I think with the discovery and the understanding that maybe some of these players aren't as good as we probably think they are, that are, asking for 100 million, 80 million. I'm not going to bring up any names, but is there any player out there that can come on and do that? What Trent did for us. Come on and be threatening immediately. Can create opportunities and chances out of nothing. I don't know if there is. And he's so special going forward. It makes me think, man, are we wasting his talents in defense? Should he be plying his trade somewhere completely else in this Liverpool team? I think maybe so. You think that maybe there's an opportunity that we're missing here, almost in like a Gareth Bale type of way. And I know some people say, well, he's not very good in midfield. I don't think he has the awareness in midfield. Put him in attack then. Make him a winger. The way that he's able to strike a ball with that much power, that much accuracy, that much venom and intention, which I think is a huge thing that a lot of forwards do not have in today's day and age. Not just forwards, but just players in general. The intention behind these strikes. I think Maka is a big one that actually strikes with intention a lot, which is why he scores so many really great screamers, because he's actually intentionally looking for that top left-hand corner, not hitting it and, oh, let's pray, I hope it goes in, which I feel like a lot of forwards, one of our own, Darwin Núñez, does. He hits it and he says, go in, let's hope so. Good luck. God willing, let's hope that goes in. There's intention behind those strikes with players like Trent and Maka because they understand how to strike a ball. They understand how to pass a ball. So I don't know. It's very interesting. We'll see what happens with them. But you see this from Mo Salah on social media, and you start thinking like, um, is something happening here that maybe we don't know? Even this picture with Arne Slot hugging Trent, embracing him like a child, like his own son. I don't know if he stays or if he goes. I don't know if you go to Madrid. That's kind of a weird situation and a mess in itself. I am probably one of the few people that want him to stay, because there just aren't very many people and players in world football right now that can do what Trent Alexander-Arnold does and can give you what Trent Alexander can give you. So I don't know if it's a money thing. I don't know if it's a role thing. I don't know what it is, but I think if you give VVD the contract, you give Salah the contract, you give Trent the contract. So I think if he does go, I think it's more of a footballing reason than a money reason. But in an ideal world, I want to see him stay at this club. It's so many mixed signals from all parties, man, included. Does he stay? Does he go? I do not know. But I do think we get answers by this next match. I think there's nothing else to play for, especially if we win it in this next match. There's nothing else to play for. I think we need answers then, because then you're not waiting to see if the title race is decided, or your answer may mess up certain this or certain that. That excuse is out of the window. I think now is the time, within this week, we find an answer if Trent Alexander-Arnold stays a Red and stays a Liverpool player for the next foreseeable future. So let me know what you guys think. Does he stay? Does he go? I don't know. But make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all of your guys' support. Hopefully you guys like the new format of how we're doing things. Appreciate you, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.